All right, so now we've talked about the conscious thinking about improving your running form. Let's talk strengthening. When it comes down to strengthening, we're gonna talk about like muscular strength, but also muscle memory. None of the stuff we did before is gonna do you any good without actually strengthening your body. If you just think about it consciously, if that's all you're doing, the problem is 5-10 minutes later, whatever, your body's just gonna revert right back to what it's comfortable with. And what it's comfortable with is largely determined by your actual strength, your core strength, your overall muscular strength, and then of course that muscle memory. So that's what we wanna work on. First, let's do a little bit of general core, okay? Because the core is where it all begins. I guarantee pretty much everybody watching this video has a weak core, especially like the glutes and hips area. So we're just gonna do like a little mini routine that's gonna work on that. So I wanna start with planks. I think a lot of people know how to do planks, but there's some things that I wanna kind of remind you about that are really gonna help make the biggest difference. So when you're doing a plank, basically just have your forearms out like such, and you want your hands can be either together or out. You want to go up onto your toes, keep your back flat. Now here's the key part that I want you to keep in mind is that you want to engage the glutes. I hope you're not looking only at that specific part of my body, but at the same time, that's the part I'm talking about. You need to engage the glutes while you're doing this. So we're going to do a front plank. We're going to do a side plank. Same thing. As soon as you get up, you need to engage those glutes. You're gonna switch to the other side, engage the glutes, then we're gonna go to the back, which you can be either on like your forearms or kind of like your elbows. Go up. This is the one where you really have to work on engaging the glutes. You're gonna do each of those in 30-second increments. Then work up to where you're doing 2 sets of that. The other thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna mention part of what's called the MYRTL routine. Coach Jay Johnson has an awesome video that I will link to down below, but I am gonna put in a few parts of that myself. This routine is awesome. We're gonna do a couple of them here. One is called donkey kicks. You want your right knee on the ground. Left one is gonna come back. And when you go back, you wanna keep that toe dorsiflexed. You're gonna go all the way up and back down. When you go up, you want the bottom of your shoe to be perfectly flat or as flat as possible. Then you come back down, up, down, up. Same thing on the other leg. Then we're gonna do one called donkey whips, which is foot back, again, keeping that toe dorsiflexed, to the side, out to the side, just to the point where you feel like that hip tightening. That's really all that matters. You don't have to go way out to the side, just to that point where you feel a little bit of tightness in the hip. The aptly named fire hydrant. You're just gonna go out, like your dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Keep that toe dorsiflexed, just go out until that point where you feel that tightness in the hip. And then the last one is just gonna be like, it's as if you're going over a hurdle. So if you think about it like this, I'm going over like a mini little hurdle. Let's say there's a little hurdle, little barrier right there. I'm just bringing my leg over, and then I'm reversing it as well, okay? So do like anywhere from like 5 to 8 reps of those will make a huge difference. The last thing I wanna show you real quick is glute bridges. Glute activation is something that's so important. We don't necessarily want to make the glutes like unbelievably strong. We don't really want like a big sprinter butt, right? You just need to get your glutes activated. Very basic glute activation. Heels on the ground there. Go back to where our back is flat. Come up, and then at the very top, get a nice drive up there. Once you get a little bit stronger, you can work on pulling your knee back, going up. Same on the other leg. Up like that. And that's gonna help activate your glutes. You can do this either pre or post run, doesn't really matter, but just make sure you're consistent with it. And that will really help activate those glutes. The MYRTL routine that we did earlier, that'll help open up the hips, and the planks will strengthen your overall core so that you're not breaking down more towards the end of races. Now we talked about like core strength, activating those glutes, getting the hips opened up, all that. We also don't want to neglect the upper body. And this is something that I think most runners and most running coaches really neglect. Maybe they do some push-ups or a little bit of like weightlifting stuff, but we don't really talk about the back, okay? Your back is so important in keeping you upright. How do most people look at the end of races? They look like this. They're slouched over, their shoulders are coming forward, their arms are going way across their midline. Have to strengthen your back. That's very important. So this is a simple little exercise called the YTLW that you can do to strengthen your back, to make it stronger over time and more resilient, to where at the end of the race, you're gonna be more upright with your shoulders back, down, and relaxed like we talked about earlier. So the YTLW, you're basically going to make a Y, then a T, then an L, then a W with your body, more or less, okay? So the first one is the Y, okay? So we're just gonna get in like a slightly squatted down position, not way down, but not perfectly straight up with knees locked, just knees slightly bent, kind of get down, and we're gonna take our hands, we're just gonna make a Y. While we're doing this, we wanna be pulling back as much as possible, and then we wanna hold, okay? So I'm holding that Y, and I come down, come here, back, shoulders down, back, and really pulling back so that you feel that strain kind of in between your scapulae, right? Back. All right, so that's the Y. Now let's do the T. I'm gonna go, you can start with your hands together and then just pull them out like this and really pull back, okay? Really pull back into your shoulders. And if you wanna make this one a little bit more advanced and a little bit, strengthen your back a little bit more once you get used to it, when you come back, put those thumbs down and back, okay? So you're kind of facing your palms up towards the sky, and then really pull back the shoulders. Next one is gonna be the L, right? Okay, so YTLW. Okay, so for the L, we're just gonna come up like this, and then pull way back, then put the hands down, then back up, hold, down, back up. So you're kind of always straining the back a little bit here, that's okay. Back up, okay? Then the last one is gonna be the W, okay? This might be the most important one. You wanna take your thumbs, this one you really want those thumbs pointed back. So when we come back, we're forming that W right here with our body, right? So bring those thumbs back and really make sure those scapulae are coming together. So watch it from the back, okay? So like so, okay? I'm kind of facing the ground a little bit more. I was looking up for so much of the video, but you kind of want to be facing the ground. You don't want to be bent all the way over, but you do want a little bit of a bend there. So for that W, we're really bringing it back and pushing those scapulae like inside, but also down, okay? So if you do that, like I said, twice a week or so, consistently, you'll really strengthen that back and have a better posture at the end of the race. All right, so let's talk about a couple drills. I don't want to go too in depth, kind of with the same with the other things as well. We're kind of getting like a broad scope of everything, but if you do all these consistently, it definitely will help. Let's talk about two drills, the A skip and the B skip. These are really simple, but very commonly done incorrectly. I'm gonna demonstrate them first, and then I'll kind of narrate a little bit after and show you exactly what I'm doing and exactly how you can get this drill right, okay? Hopefully that showed you like what it looks like at normal speed, but now I'm gonna go through it a little bit slower and show you exactly what you need to be thinking about. So basically we are bringing I'm gonna start with the right leg. We're gonna bring our right knee up. When we do this, you wanna think about two things, knee up, toe up, okay? So knee up, toe up, then we're gonna go down, knee up, toe up with the left, knee up, toe up with the right. But here's the key, is that you wanna have a frequency to this, okay? So you're basically like hopping, okay? So knee up, toe up, knee up, toe up, knee up, toe up. And each time my toe is on the ground, it's hitting the ground twice. So I'm not just going, this is where when most people get this drill wrong, is they just do this. Like they just kind of have like one step on the ground each time. You wanna have that touch, 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 touch. So touch, 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 okay? So that's the second thing you want to keep in mind. Remember, you've got knee up, toe up, you've got the frequency, and then the other thing is you want to have a little bit of a forward lean, okay? You want to keep that upper body the way we talked about it before, that good forward lean, upright posture while you're doing the drill. So knee up, toe up, right? We're thinking one step, two step, two step, two step, and we're thinking about that forward lean. So that's the A skip. The B skip, exact same thing, except at the end of it, once we get that right knee or that knee up, then we're gonna put the foot out and kind of paw the ground, okay? We don't wanna stomp on the ground, we just kind of wanna paw it a little bit, okay? So this is the B skip. Knee up, toe up, and then paw the ground. I'm gonna do this one fast one more time. Knee up, toe up, paw the ground, okay? Knee up, toe up, paw on the ground. And then the last thing to remember, you want to move in place very quickly, but you actually wanna move forward very slowly. So you don't wanna go like this. You're not like racing to get to the end of the finish line as fast as possible. You actually want to move very quickly, but move forward very slowly while you're doing this drill. Take your time. It's going to take a little bit of time to get down, but once you do, it'll really work on your frequency. So the last drill we're gonna talk about is called falling strides. Earlier in the video, we talked about that forward lean, but that's a really hard thing to get down. This drill, it's called falling strides. It's really gonna help get that muscle memory and kind of work on what that forward lean looks like. So a falling stride, essentially you're gonna start from a standstill. You're just gonna have your feet even with each other. Stand up straight. You're gonna let yourself fall forward as far as you can go until that last possible second where you catch yourself. So let me show you one real quick. So here's the key there. When I did that falling stride, I had to catch myself. But right when I caught myself, I was pretty bent over. That's not where we wanna be. Where you do wanna be is about 2 or 3 steps after you catch yourself. That's where you find that optimal forward lean. The problem is what most of us do is we have that lean and then we just go way farther back. We start heel striking, super upright, and we're not getting that good forward motion like you want to get when you're running. So I'm gonna demonstrate that one more time and show you how it's done, the falling stride. Now look, here comes the hard part, consistency. You have to be consistent with this. You can't do this maybe once every other week and hope to see big gains. You can't do this really consistently for a couple weeks and then fall off the wagon for 3 weeks and hope to see big gains. You have to be consistent with this. I would say with the strength work, the drills, get in a routine of doing it twice a week. If you can do 3 times a week, even better, but twice a week, at least you will see gains. 3 times a week is even better. For the conscious thinking stuff, do it as often as you can. Think about it all the time. Don't go crazy, don't not go on runs with your friends and with your training group just because you want to be thinking about your running form. But at the same time, be consistent with this. Think about it all the time, do the drills consistently, and you will see gains. It will take some time. I'm going to warn you right now, it does take a little bit of time. You're not going to see a huge improvement after 1 week. You're not going to see a huge improvement after 2 weeks, maybe not even after a month, but months on top of each other, no doubt. You will see improvements. You'll be more injury resistant. You will be just have better, more efficient running stride. And if you think about that, if your stride is more efficient for every single step, think about that over a 5K, 10K, especially a half or full marathon. That's gonna be a huge difference. You're gonna run a lot faster. The fact that you are much more efficient every single step. So you will see better times, you will be more injury resistant. I hope you liked this video. Comment down below if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and let me know what else you wanna see. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down and let me know in the comments down below what more you'd like to see about this topic, what you didn't like. If you'd like to send in a video of you running, just upload it to YouTube, post the link down in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to comment with critiques and some things you can work on to improve your running form.